Hello everyone, I hope all of you are fine. So my name is Shubham and today we'll be starting with the question number 6 solutions that I already told you that I'll be giving you the solutions for these questions. So this is the first question solution. As you can clearly see, d by dx of u into v we have applied. It will be u into dv by dx plus v into du by dx. It is a self-explanatory solution. You can go through this on your own. In the second solution, we have applied the case for d by dx of u by v. Remember that whenever we'll be differentiating this part, that is, we'll be taking the derivative of the constant 1. The derivative of this constant would be 0, of course, and the solution for the same would be this one, minus 2 upon 2x plus 1 whole square. Okay. As far as your third question is concerned, this is a bit tricky question. Again, we have to apply the same formula, u by v formula. So it will be d by dx of u by v means v into du by dx minus u into dv by dx upon v square. So you can clearly see the solution has been given here. You can verify your solution if you have solved these questions. The next part is d by dx of u by v again. So this is the solution number 4. You can verify your own solution and let's continue with our next topic, that is the integration. So in case of this integration part, we need not to study all this theory, whatever it has been written. You can read it on for your own convenience. But what I suggest you, as far as your integration part is concerned, it is basically the exact opposite of the differentiation. Okay, means if I say that derivative of sin x is cos x, so integral of cos x would be sin x. If derivative of cos x is equal to minus sin x, you can refer the formulas that we discussed previously. So the integral of cos x would be minus sin x because we have to compensate a sin as well. Okay. Here it has been written that if di by dx is equal to f of x, which means, just wait. If di by dx is equal to f of x, then f dash x dx. This is how we represent the integral part. This is the symbol for integration. So this is the function that has to be integrated. So it is represented in this form, f of x dx. Okay. So whenever it will be integrated, we'll get one more function, and the c is known as the constant of integration. So c is an arbitrary constant, means a general constant. So we'll not discuss this example, we'll take it into further questions. Let's proceed to the formulas for the integral. Just like the formulas for derivative, we have the formulas for integral as well. This is the first formula. We know that x raised to the power n derivative is n x raised to the power n minus 1, and x raised to the power n integral is this one, x raised to the power n plus 1 upon n plus 1. तो उसमें पावर आगे आके पावर 1 से कम हो जाती है, इसमें पावर बढ़ जाती है 1 से, और नीचे n+1 हम लोग लिख देते हैं प्लस c. This c is constant of integration as we have already discussed. Again, as I was telling you earlier as well, if the derivative of cos x is minus sin x, so integral of sin x would be minus cos x, because this minus sign has to be compensated by bringing it here. Okay. So that is why we'll say that the integral of sin x is minus cos x. In the same way, derivative of sin x is cos x, so integral of cos x would be sin x. It is simple. It is not, there is not any negative sign that is present here. If the derivative of if the derivative of log x is 1 by x, so integral of 1 by x would be log x. Okay. Again, if the derivative of e raised to the power x is e raised to the power x, so the integral of e raised to the power x is e raised to the power x plus c. ठीक है जी. Now the next part is, let's discuss a few examples based on same so that we can get a gist of the question. We have to integrate this part, 11 x raised to the power 11 by 2. It will be very simple, x raised to the power 11 by 2 plus 1 upon 11 by 2 plus 1. So this will be your final answer, and do not forget to add this constant of integration whenever it has been given a question on integral. I'll tell you further in this video why this constant of integration is needed. Next part is x raised to the power minus 7. It will be very simple, x raised to the power minus 7 plus 1 upon minus 7 plus 1. So it will be minus 1 by 6 into x raised to the power minus 6. Okay, so this is x raised to the power p upon q. It is as simple as that. You will easily get it. Next part is, or rather next question is, evaluate the integral of this. In the same way, the way we divided the derivative part, we'll simply divide the integral part as well. X square dx minus cos x dx minus 1 by x dx. So x square dx, it will be x raised to the power 2 plus 1 upon 2 plus 1. So the final answer for this integral would be x cube by 3. Okay. In the same way, cos x is to be integrated, cos x dx. So the integral of cos x is sin x, so it will be minus sin x. In the same way, 1 upon x dx is to be integrated, it will be log x, and we'll simply add a constant of integration after the means at the end, so that the question is complete. Okay, so these are the few questions for your practice. In the same way we discussed for the derivative part, you can try these 5 questions on your own, and if you will be having any problem, you can ask me in the comment section. Okay, so this is the next part, that is the definite integrals. Now, as I have already told you, you need to add a constant of integration in the integrals. In few cases, the constant of integration is not added, where it is those such integrals are known as definite integrals. So a definite integral is where we have the limits. As we clearly know that this is the sign for integral. These are the limits. Okay, from a to b, it is read as integral of f dash x dx from a to b. In this way it is read. It's called a definite integral. Means definite integral is something which is having the limits. Okay, so let's discuss it further. I'll tell you how this thing works. This thing works in this way, that the meaning of integration means, if I tell you the geometrical meaning of integration means, say this is the curve for y is equal to f of x. This is the curve for y is equal to f of x, which has been denoted in this case. If we are trying to integrate this curve, means we are trying to calculate this thing, y is equal to f of x dx from a to b. Actually what we are doing is, we are finding the area of this curve from x is equal to a to x is equal to b. That is why such integral is known as the definite integrals with limits, and there is not any constant of integration that is added in such integrals. Because I'll give you an example, why do we need to add the constant of integration in case of indefinite integrals. Indefinite integrals means the integrals which are not having any limits. For example, we are trying to find the derivative of, say, x. Let's say x square. We have been given a question. Let's say we have to find the derivative for y is equal to x square. So simply derivative of x square would be 2x. Okay. And as far as this integration we have learnt, if we are trying to integrate the 2x, means we are trying to calculate the 2x dx, we will simply reach x square. Again, we can verify this thing, that integration is the opposite of derivative. If a function is being calculated by differentiating a particular function, and if we again integrate that function, we'll reach to the original function. Okay, I'll give you a surprise in this case. Let us try to now differentiate x square plus 3. Again, when you will find the derivative of x square plus 3, it will be same as that of 2x. So I hope you are getting my point, that the same answer is coming out when we are trying to differentiate either y is equal to x square or y is equal to x square plus 3, that is 2x. But whenever we are trying to integrate this 2x, we are not sure that whether we'll be reaching x square, or we'll be reaching x square plus 3, or we'll be reaching, let's say, x square plus 5, x square plus 7, or any other constant for that. That is why we need to add a constant of integration, that is c, when we are trying to find the indefinite integral for any particular function. ठीक है, मतलब वो c की वैल्यू कुछ भी हो सकती है, इसीलिए हम उसको आर्बिट्रेरी कांस्टेंट बोलते हैं, और वो इनडेफिनेट इंटीग्रल में ऐड करना जरूरी है. डेफिनेट में जरूरी नहीं है, बिकॉज डेफिनेट इंटीग्रल इज ऑलरेडी हैविंग द लिमिट्स. हमें पता है कि कहां से लेकर कहां तक इंटीग्रेट करना है. सिंस इन दिस केस इट हैज बीन टोल्ड टू इंटीग्रेट from x is equal to a to x is equal to b. Let's try to solve this with an example. This is the case. We have to integrate this thing x square dx from 1 to 5. 1 is known as the lower limit and 5 is known as the upper limit. You can note down in your notebooks as well. 1 is the lower limit in this case and 5 is the upper limit. Okay, so these are the options given to us. 125 by 3 and these are the options that have been given to us. So when we will try to integrate this thing x square plus 3, it will be, what will be the formula? X raised to the power n plus 1 upon n plus 1. Okay, so x square integral would be x raised to the power 2 plus 1 means x cube upon 2 plus 1 means 3. Whenever we are trying to calculate the, what you can say, the definite integral, what we'll do is we'll simply put the upper limit first in place of x, means 5 cube by 3 minus, then we'll put the lower limit 1 cube by 3. So this, in this way you can calculate your answer, which comes out to be 124 by 3. So option number 2 is correct. Okay, so definite integral में हमने क्या करना होता है, पहले उस फंक्शन को इंटीग्रेट करने के बाद उसमें अपर लिमिट की वैल्यू पुट करते हैं यहाँ पे, देन माइनस लोअर लिमिट की वैल्यू पुट करते हैं, एंड देन you will get your answer. So for the practice of such questions, you can take these questions. 5 or 6 questions are there. These are the questions you can try on your own and you can clear your doubts if you would be having any. So thank you very much. Take care of yourself and we'll be starting with the next topic in the next video. Thank you.